Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Off the Bench podcast. I'm Robert Sellers. I'm excited to be with y'all on this glorious Tuesday, which is probably when y'all are watching this video. Maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, who knows? But welcome back to the podcast, and also a resounding welcome back to the sport of college basketball, which tipped off tonight. We had so many epic matchups. So many great things went down. Louisville held South Carolina State's starters to 4 points. That happened. The champ lost in their first game of the season. BYU got a huge win against Villanova. They struggled. They didn't look like what we thought BYU would look like, but they pulled it out. Auburn needed overtime. Stephen Pearl literally got taken to overtime against Bethune Cookman in his first game. So many teams dominated. Boise State lost to Hawaii Pacific. Huge upset there. Florida Atlantic got a huge win. UCLA, little bit of shenanigans in their game against, I think it was Eastern Kentucky, but so much stuff went down. A lot happened, and our great sport of college basketball has returned. So we're going to react to the first game that I watched today, which was the Florida Gators and the Arizona Wildcats. So in a huge upset, in a stunning victory, the Arizona Wildcats in Las Vegas, in their own backyard, take down the Florida Gators 93-87. Let's go. What a win. Florida had won like 14 straight coming into this game. They dismantled the SEC in the SEC tournament. They didn't cruise, but they got to the Final Four. They knocked off Auburn, and they knocked off Houston in the national championship game. They're on a high of highs, and they return their whole front court, and everyone thinks Florida's a top 4 team. They have a chance to run it back. And then their first game, they go to Las Vegas, they play the Arizona Wildcats, and Koa Pete and Tommy Lloyd and this Arizona team just flips it all on their head. What a result. Phenomenal. I had so much fun watching this game. And I fell in love with Arizona, to be honest. I completely love this team. This is awesome basketball. They out-rebounded Florida 41 to 39. I don't think anybody expected Florida to get out-rebounded in this game. Arizona's tough, and that's why they did. This team just plays with so much toughness. Just look at Koa Pete. Obviously, Koa Pete is the story of this game, but he is so tough. Motejas Krivas, the 7'2" kid, just plays with toughness. And especially, I don't even know how to say his last name, Ivan Karshininov. That's definitely not right. Karshinkov. Ivan, number 8 on Arizona. That dude, tough as nails. Even their big guy, number 30, Toby Awaka. All of these guys just are scrappy. They're not afraid to foul. They're not afraid to get physical. They're not afraid, just period, of any of these Florida big men. Florida's got some scrappy, tall, physical big guys. And Arizona went in there and just ran right at them and was the more physical team, which I loved to watch that. I think that was spectacular. It's Koa Pete season, ladies and gentlemen. Koa Pete just went nuts. The whole talk about Arizona in the offseason as well. This team is so reliant on their true freshman talent. How is that going to translate in the early going of the season? They're so reliant on guys that have no experience. Well, Koa Pete just went out and dropped 30 points on Florida. He was 11 for 18 from the field, 8 for 12 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds, 3 steals, a block, only 2 turnovers. Koa Pete just balled out. Absolutely balled out. It was so much fun to watch. He was all around amazing. Of course, A, theme of this Arizona team, he was not afraid. B, spectacular in transition. He's athletic. He gets going. Of course, Jaden Bradley leads all their transition possessions, but he's right there, and he's so into every moment of this basketball game. He's great one-on-one, especially in the post. He got to his spots. He's great at those little bunnies. His footwork is amazing. I forget if it was Brian Anderson who said this, but I think it was. He doesn't, or at least I kind of agree with this. When I'm looking at a big man, yes, their shooting ability is great, and yes, their ability to rebound is great. And these are really important aspects of being a big or a good big man in basketball. But you got to look at their footwork. The footwork is the most important part to me that make big men so skilled and so talented. And Koa Pete just has beautiful footwork. He really put that on display. It's not like he's towering over Alex Condon or Thomas Hawk or Micah Hamlockton. He's only, 6'10"? I don't even think he's 6'10". And yet he's just putting guys in a blender because he's just so smooth and his footwork is so amazing. I was really, really impressed with Koa Pete, 100%. Even on the defensive side of the ball, He was scrappy. He fought. 3 steals, like I said, even had a block. Super fun to watch. He's definitely, he was not really as talked about, of course, as most of the talented true freshmen in this class, like Peterson and DeBansta and Cam Boozer and Nate Ament and Darius Acuff and Michael Brown. He was sort of an afterthought, but he's going to be 100% just injected to all of the freshman hype that is coming with this 2025 recruiting class. So huge night for Koa Pete. I loved what I saw from him. Jaden Bradley was a lot of fun in this basketball game. Every time he got the ball after a rebound, he just wanted to push it every single time. He's like, "Give me the ball, I'm going. I'm not waiting. I'm just gonna go attack," and I loved it. He's good at that. He's really athletic. It's not like he's a great shooter. Literally did not shoot a 3, but was 9 for 14 from the field with 5 assists. He was super efficient. 3 turnovers. Obviously not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not like he had 5 plus. So I really liked what I saw from Jaden Bradley. I loved how he sort of commanded the offense. Had 27 points. Of course, not a lot of people are talking about his performance because Koa Pete went so nuclear. But I thought Bradley played great. Do I think he's the most skilled guy in the world? No. But like I said, Jaden Bradley doesn't care. He just wants to get the ball and just go play fast. And I love it. It's electric. So I love what I saw from Jaden Bradley. Their other 2 freshmen alongside Koa Pete, Dwayne Aristode and Braden Burries. I thought Burries was going to be fantastic. Burries played 17 minutes and had 3 points. So it sort of just kind of seems like he's a little afraid right now. He's not quite there yet. He was 1 for 6 from the field. Jitters might have just gotten to him. First game of the year. First game of his career in college. And he's going up against the Florida Gators. So he might have just gotten a little timid in this game. I think he's only going to get better. Aristode only played 6 minutes. I think Dwayne Aristode is such a good defender. I think we're really going to see that as the season goes on. And I mean, that's another good point. If you're thinking about Arizona as a Big 12 contender and you're saying, well, I mean, yeah, they have Jaden Bradley and they have Koa Pete, but like other than that, I don't know where the pieces are. I mean, they're tough, sure, but I mean, how are you going to get that offense? Where's it going to come from? I think Arizona is going to only get better. I legitimately do think that. They're going to get better and better and better because these freshmen are going to get better and better and better. I mean, you think Koa Pete's going to get worse? I mean, he's not going to put up 30 points every single night, but he sure as heck is not going to get worse. And I'm telling you, Braden Burries and Aristode are only going to get better. I mean, these are guys that are young, they're raw, they're so talented, and Tommy Lloyd he coached the U19 FIBA basketball team, so he's really good with these freshmen, and I think he's just going to squeeze all the basketball juice out of them, and I think Arizona is going to contend in the Big 12. I mean, I don't think they're going to win it because Houston is just so far and away, just so elite. But Arizona's going to be great. I love what I saw from this team. They're going to be one of my favorite teams of the year, having seen that. And also, just another part about this Arizona team that I thought was just lit, just so awesome. They only shot 5 threes the whole game. They put up 93 points, and they were 2 for 5 from 3. That's it. I love that. I think that's so awesome. I mean, they just dominated the paint. They played in transition. I mean, they didn't even need to. Anthony Del Rosso is their main 3-point shooter. He was just 0 for 2. And I mean, I'm not going to say they can't shoot because I know Del Rosso can shoot. I mean, that dude is just a sharp shooter. Number 3, grew a beard. I didn't recognize him at first. He's got a beard now. Burries is going to develop a shot. I promise he's going to get better. So the shooting is there. They just didn't need it at all to win this basketball game. And I thought that was just awesome. I loved what I saw from Arizona. So we're going to flip it from Arizona to the other end of the stick. We're going to talk about Florida, why they lost this game, and some negatives about the Gators. First of all, I thought this was so obvious. And even going into the season, I thought this was going to be such an obvious thing that I was worried about with this Florida team. Their guard play is significantly worse than it was last year. And I know that that's asking a lot for it to even be close to as good as it was last year because it was so good last year. But let me just describe what they had last year. Of course, their 3 starting guards were Walter Clayton Jr. at the point guard. Clayton was as good of a clutch shot maker as you will ever find in the sport of college basketball. Every time Florida needed a bucket, they went to him. He was a great passer. He ran the offense really, really well. And he was their go-to guy. And he was one of the best players in the sport last year. He was first team All-American, I believe. And then the other 2 guards were eerily similar to each other. Will Richard and Elijah Martin, both guys so athletic, such good defenders, and they could shoot lights out. They were perfect pieces for the Florida team around Alex Condon and around their elite front court and around Walter Clayton Jr. That was what they had last year. They lost all of that. And this year, what they replaced it with was Xavier Lee and Boogie Fland. Now, I think both these guys are talented. I think Xavier Lee's a lot of fun. I really do. But these guards, first of all, are way worse shooters than Walter Clayton Jr., Will Richard, and Elijah Martin. They're not as good defenders. And to me, Boogie Fland is so talented. Like, he's got the skills. But he just goes out there and he plays timid. He only had 9 points, played 32 minutes. So many times I felt like in this game, Boogie Fland he didn't look like he wanted to score out there. I don't really know why, to be completely honest with you. Even the wide open three that he got at the end of the game that he missed. I mean, I think from a basketball person's perspective, you can hate on the fact that he missed a wide open corner three as much as you want to. But the miss itself, to me, was not the worst part of that play. Boogie Fland got the ball. Of course, under a minute to go, you're down in the game, you need a bucket. Every time Walter Clayton Jr. got an open, just not even an open look. Every time he got a look, he's firing right away. No fear. That's what you have to have at the end of games. Boogie Fland got the ball in the corner, had an open three, and sat there for 3 seconds, sizing up his shot, and then shot it. I just think he's not in the right headspace right now. He's not even... it's not that I don't think he's a good player. He just has to stop playing with fear. That's the main thing that I'm seeing with Boogie Fland. And then Xavier Lee, I really liked what I saw from him in terms of just putting shots up. I mean, he got... Of course, he took some bad shots. He was 5 for 17 from the field. But at least he's trying out there. I mean, the other Florida guards weren't even really putting any effort in. And, of course, Xavier Lee, I mean, he did have 2 turnovers and missed 12 shots, so he wasn't the most efficient person of all time. But at least he's trying out there, and I liked what I saw from him. I think that, again, I think Florida's going to get better. I think Todd Golden's just a fantastic coach. But I'm really worried about their guard play. I'm really worried about their shooting. I already kind of talked about that. They were 7 for 27 from beyond the arc. Just 30 of 70 from the field. Their shooting has taken a significant step back, in my opinion. I think that much was obvious at the beginning of the year, and it's just been made more obvious through this game against Arizona. And credit Arizona's defense, it was good, but man, Florida's shooting is really, really taking a step back. And then their front court is still legit, in my opinion. I think Florida's front court is still one of, if not the best in the country. Thomas Houck played a great game, 27 points, scrappy, efficient, great free throw shooter. Alex Condon was good, especially in the first half. He was great in the first half, although he did have 6 turnovers in this game, so he's going to have to clean that up. Micah Hamlockton is so good. My goodness. I know he's an ultra veteran. I mean, that dude is just a brick wall in the paint. He had 12 rebounds in 23 minutes. He is dominant, especially he had 6 offensive rebounds. I mean, Florida had 17 offensive rebounds in this game and still lost. That's crazy. So, Mike Hamlockton is great. Chinyelu fouled out early. Or he didn't foul out early, but he was in foul trouble all game. He got his jersey ripped off, which I thought was lit. I loved watching that. Toby Awaka just literally ripped his jersey off of his chest. It means college basketball's back. That's what that means. So I thought this game was super fun to watch. Florida's got a lot to work on. Arizona also has a lot to work on, but they look pretty good. This was a really fun game. I'm so glad this game happened. This is what happens when you play these games in the non-conference. Arizona versus Florida, top 13 matchup in Las Vegas. You get awesome results like this. And for Florida, this shouldn't really hurt them very much. This is going to be a quad 1 loss. Not going to penalize them very much at all. You brush this one off, you move forward. But for Arizona, huge win. This is going to really boost their resume all season long. And a big win for the Big 12 over the SEC too. I mean, right off the bat, this did not happen at all last year. The Big 12 getting a big win over the SEC literally did not happen once. So, Big 12 off to a great start. SEC off to a little bit of a slow start. That's just another side story there. So, awesome game, awesome result. It was super fun to watch. Moving on from that game to the game following that, also in Las Vegas, BYU took down the Villanova Wildcats. These Wildcats were not as lucky as the Arizona Wildcats, as BYU won 71-66. And if you told me that BYU would only win 71-66, or rather they would only score 71 points, I would be shocked. I mean, this is a BYU offense that I thought would maybe be the best offense in the country. And they just got stuffed a lot of this game. First of all, I'll talk about the pros from BYU. I really liked what I saw from Devonsta. He was 9 for 18 from the field. I thought that was really solid. Of course, he's not perfect. Yeah, at times he took some bad shots. He was a little selfish, but I mean, can you really blame him? He's the number 2 recruit in the country. I think he'll get better and better. I think he's going to work more into this team the more he plays. And I mean, he's just so athletic. He's so skilled. AJ Devonsta is for real. After watching this game, that's not changed. I thought that in the preseason. This has not changed. Put up 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He was good. Richie Saunders is a freaking dog, man. I love Richie Saunders so much. He is the engine on this team, is Richie Saunders. I mean, that dude, he's the heart and soul of the BYU Cougars basketball team. Every time someone makes a big play in like the last 3 minutes of the game that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, whether it's like jumping up, grabbing a ball and throwing it off a Villanova player, or diving into the camera section behind the basket to get a loose ball, or coming up with a huge defensive rebound in the last 30 seconds of the basketball game, it's always Richie Saunders. It always is. He's so good. Didn't have the best shooting night. Was only 4 for 13 from the field, but still had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He is just a baller. He's a gamer. I love Richie Saunders. I think there's going to be so many times this year where everyone's talking about Devonsta, everyone's talking about Rob Wright, and it's Richie Saunders that wins this team basketball games. He's such a gamer. Rob Wright was good too, 14 points. He was aggressive. I liked the style that he played. I think he played a lot better, and he looks a lot more confident and at ease than he did when he was at Baylor. But my critique on Rob Wright, you're the starting point guard. You cannot just have 1 assist. I mean, that is not your goal on this team. I mean, you got to have more assists than that, Rob Wright. This whole team, the passing, only 10 team assists. Passing's got to be better for BYU, in my opinion. They have to share the ball more. And again, that'll get better as the season goes on because they'll play with each other more. They'll face more circumstances. They'll grow as a team, definitely. But the offense for BYU, I mean, yikes, 71 points? Not what I expected. The shooting was, first of all, I want to credit Villanova's defense. Credit them. They played good. This is not just a BYU follow-up. Villanova played a good defensive game. But the shooting, way, way worse than it was last year. That's just something to look out for. I mean, Villanova guarded well on the perimeter, but BYU was 5 for 17 from 3. I mean, BYU was never 5 for 17 from 3. If they only made 5 threes, they still put up like 40. They shot so many threes last year, and they lived and died by it, but they only shot 17, and they only made 5. It's just interesting. I mean, just call it what it is. Saunders was 1 for 4. Rob Wright was 0 for 3. The bench combined was 1 for 5. So, I mean, just not great stuff from BYU shooting-wise. And BYU shooting-wise, that's supposed to be their game. That's supposed to be what they're good at. So that was a little bit concerning. To me, this BYU team doesn't have a lot of depth. I think it's honestly, most of the scoring just came from Richie Saunders, Rob Wright, and AJ Devonsta. That was pretty much it. I mean, combined between the 3 of them, if my math serves me correct, that is 50 points. So 50 of their 71 points came from 3 players. I just think that's a little bit concerning. The BYU team last year, it seemed like everyone could step up and make big-time shots. And I don't know. That, of course, again, these are things that could improve throughout the season, but the depth problem is just something to look out for BYU. I think they're way more athletic this year just as a group. I think that's why they played better defense in this game. Also, Villanova just could not put a pretty shot up. And they took 35 threes and made 10 of them. So they were really not pretty offensively. I've got some worries about BYU, but I think they're talented enough to fix most of them. The offense should be better as the season goes on. They also got bullied a little bit in the paint. Duke Brennan had 15 rebounds in this game. He's 6'10", and BYU is kind of a small team. Devonta's 6'9". Kiba Kita is like 6'8". He's a unit. I mean, that dude is huge, but he's only 6'8", so they're a little small. I think that's why Duke Brennan was able to pull down 15 boards, but it's just something to look out for. BYU struggled a lot with that last year with their lack of size, so we'll see if that comes back to bite them again here in 2025. Villanova looked great. I mean, Willard really knows how to coach a defense. He did at Maryland. Maryland's defense was awesome last year. That's where Willard came from. Now he's at Villanova. Defense looks great again. It makes sense. They forced only 4 turnovers from BYU. They took care of the ball pretty well. But Villanova just guarded really, really well. They took away the three-pointer for the most part from BYU. And they rebounded really well. They didn't give BYU a lot of second-chance opportunities. So I like what I saw from this Nova defense. Brennan was awesome. How about Bryce Lindsey coming off the bench, dropping 22? I thought that was awesome. 5 for 9 from 3 from Bryce Lindsey. Good for you, stud. He's a sophomore. Let's see where Bryce Lindsey came from. From James Madison. That is awesome. Bryce Lindsey comes from James Madison, averaged 13.4 points with the Dukes, comes in off the bench for the Nova Wildcats, drops freaking 22 against BYU. That is hype. So good for Lindsey. This Nova team, I mean, the Big East is kind of wide open. Other than St. John's and UConn, those are obviously the 2 contenders, but it seems like maybe there's only going to be a 3rd or a 4th team in the Big East that makes the tournament. Why not Villanova? Why not Willard? Why not Bryce Lindsey? I mean, this Villanova team, if they play, this is Big East basketball. They made BYU play Big East basketball. Scrappy in the mud game here. And I liked what I saw with Villanova. I think they could contend to make the tournament. Would I pick them to? No. But you played good against BYU. So I respect what I saw from the Wildcats for sure. And Duke Brennan, like I said, 6'10" beast, 15 rebounds is good. Really good. Especially against an athletic BYU team. So good for Duke Brennan. Good for Villanova. But good win for BYU to start the year. This will be maybe a quad 2 win, maybe a quad 1 win for BYU, depending on how good Villanova is the rest of the year. And this loss shouldn't hurt Villanova very much at all. It's just a quad 1 loss. And they'll bounce back. They will bounce back. So that's all the talk I have for the Las Vegas games. But we're going to travel a little bit east and a little bit southeast to the great state of Alabama, where the Auburn Tigers won in overtime against the Bethune Cookman Wildcats. A lot of Wildcats tonight. But Auburn, my goodness, the 20th ranked team in the country. The team that just went to the Final Four. The team that was just the number 1 overall seed in the March Madness bracket. And the team that won the regular season SEC title last year needs overtime to take down Bethune Cookman. What on earth happened in this game? This was Stephen Pearl's first game as the Auburn head coach, and it was not a memorable one for the Auburn Tigers fan base. They really struggled in this game. Obviously, they struggled. Their offense, where was it? I'm not quite sure, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I've heard Todd Pettiford is going to be the truth. He's going to lead this team to wins. He's going to be fantastic. Well, Todd Pettiford was 4 for 13 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3, and had 11 points in 38 minutes. So, no, Todd Pettiford did not show up in a big way in this basketball game. And mostly it was Keyshawn Hall. Keyshawn Hall had 28 points, but 16 of those were from the free throw line. So most of this Auburn offense came from Keyshawn Hall trying to find ways to get to the free throw line and score. And, I mean, this is kind of just life without Janai Broome. I mean, last year, they were so good because of how dangerous Janai Broome was in the post, both as a scorer and as a passer. And they don't have him to work through anymore. And the shooting on this team also taking a step back, 6 for 23 from 3. Of course, Pettiford was 2 for 9. Kevin Overton, the Texas Tech transfer, was 0 for 2. Elijah Freeman was 0 for 2. Abdul Bashir was 0 for 2. They just looked flat shooting the ball. They didn't really have an identity offensively. They didn't get out-rebounded, but Bethune Cookman was very competitive on the boards with this Auburn Tigers team. And, I mean, that's just not really supposed to happen. Keyshawn Murphy came off the bench, which I was a little surprised about. But he only had 1 rebound, and he played for 20 minutes. No, he had 8 rebounds. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I think Keyshawn Murphy should start with Keyshawn Hall, but that's just me. We'll see. Maybe Philip Jovic. I guess they just like him more. But I don't know. That's just something that I thought was interesting. They also struggled to guard on the perimeter low-key. I mean, Bethune Cookman was 12 of 22 from 3. They were just on fire from deep at parts in this game. And, I mean, Auburn's perimeter defense, just they looked sluggish out there. I mean, the effort wasn't really turned all the way up. And it did not look great for the Tigers. Of course, a win is a win. Don't want to take that away from them. They did find a way to pull this one out. So respect there to Auburn, but of course, this is not the debut that Stephen Pearl wanted. It looked like Bethune Cookman would almost win this game. They were winning a lot of the time. So Auburn's got a lot of work on, that's for sure. No gimmies in the SEC this year. Auburn knows that, so they're going to have to tighten up some screws. Their offense is going to have to play a lot better. And shout out to Bethune Cookman for traveling on the road to Auburn and putting up a fight against the Tigers. Just some other stat lines that I want to talk about, just some other mini stories that I wanted to touch on. Louisville's was unreal tonight. I mean, I know that there were so many teams that won like 120-40. You ask me, why am I pointing out Louisville? Well, Louisville, of course, they played South Carolina State. They won by 1,000,000 points. But they gave up 4 total points, to the starters on the South Carolina State team. That's nuts. I mean, their 4 starters they all played like over 17 minutes. And combined, their starters had 4 points. That is just unheard of. They only had 1 field goal. 2 of the points were free throws. And Louisville's defense was just absolutely locked down. I had to mention that because of how unreal that stat is. Florida Atlantic got a big win. Good win for FAU. Big win for the American Conference. A lot of people were worried, and I'm worried, that the American Conference is only going to get 1 bid. And they opened the year with a big win over an ACC team. I know Boston College is a very bad ACC team, but good win for FAU. That was honestly the best game that was on tonight, was the FAU Boston College game. Huge, big shots were made, big-time threes. It went to overtime. It was awesome. I was watching that game. I was like, dang, man, college basketball really is bad. UCLA's shooting looked terrible. They only won by 6 points to Eastern Kentucky, like I mentioned earlier. Really lackluster performance from the Bruins. Their defense was great, but their offense, they were just slow and sluggish. Boise State goes down to Hawaii Pacific. My goodness, talk about an upset to start the year. I mean, no one, of course, is saying that Boise State is going to contend nationally. It's not like Houston just lost, but I mean, Boise State was nearly a tournament team last year. They were right on the border. They were one of the first out, and they open up the year. Where's the Mountain West? There's the Mountain West. They open up the year with a loss to not just the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, but to Hawaii Pacific. So, and it was at home too. Boise, you lost at home? Oh, that's just so rough. That might be it for the Boise State season, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think you're going to see a Broncos team that loses to the Sea Warriors make a land tournament. I mean, that's just rough. They shot the ball pretty well. They rebounded well. What happened? 12 turnovers. That's rough. Didn't really have a guy that scored over 15 points. Yeah, this is a rough performance from Boise State. Not a good way to start the season. I'm sorry, Broncos. It's rough for you. If I had a Sarah McLachlan special, it would be the Boise State Broncos. Unfortunately, I am not Josh Pate. But ladies and gentlemen, the bottom of the line, college basketball is back. It was really fun tonight. We got Duke versus Texas tomorrow. Tomorrow's podcast will be a college football podcast. I think we're going to be reacting to the college football playoff rankings, which will be a lot of fun. So I can't wait for that. If y'all want to check out more of the stuff that we have, more of our conference basketball previews, they're all on the YouTube channel somewhere. Just the homepage, I think, is probably where you best find them. And thanks so much for watching. College basketball's back, which just makes me happy. I hope it makes y'all happy. But if you take one thing away from this podcast, it is that the thing that will make you truly happy is God. God's love is the only thing that can fulfill us as human beings. And God loves us so much. He's always there for us. He never abandons us. And no matter how far we stray away from Him, no matter where we go in life, where we are, who we're with, God will always love us, and He will always be there to forgive our sins if we ask for Him. And every time we just think about God, every time we pray, every time we are kind and loving to someone in our lives, God's smiling so much because He loves us, and He loves that we may not want a relationship with Him, but even are thinking about a relationship with Him. So that's what I want to leave y'all with. If y'all take anything away from this podcast, it is that Jesus died for your sins and He loves you. So with that, go make someone smile this week. God bless. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy this college basketball week. And I'll see you later, folks. Thanks for watching.